The vast emptiness of space stretched before the celestial horizon, a human exploration vessel that carried the hopes and curiosity of Earth's most daring explorers. Captain J. Park stood at the command center, his eyes fixed on the holographic displays that flickered with potential routes through the unknown. Elena Kim, the first officer, monitored the ship's systems with a keen eye. Her fingers danced across the control panel, tracking even the smallest disruption in their immediate space. The ship hummed with a quiet energy, a testament to human engineering and the relentless spirit of exploration. Suddenly, a strange signal caught their attention. It was unlike anything they had encountered before, a complex pattern of electromagnetic waves that seemed to pulse with an almost living intelligence. Hyun Choi, the ship's science officer, leaned forward, his curiosity piqued. "Captain," Elena called out, "we're detecting an unknown vessel approaching from the starboard side." J. Park nodded, his hand instinctively touching the communication console. Years of space exploration had taught him that first encounters could be unpredictable. The ship's exterior cameras activated, revealing a vessel that defied human understanding. Its surface was unlike traditional spacecraft, more like a living crystal that shifted and changed with each passing moment. The alien ship moved with a grace that seemed impossible. Its movements were fluid, almost organic, cutting through the darkness of space like a knife through water. The crew of the celestial horizon watched in silent anticipation. Hyun began running complex analysis protocols. The alien vessel's technology was advanced, far beyond anything humans had previously encountered. Its energy signatures were unique, showing patterns of communication and propulsion that seemed to defy known physics. "Incoming transmission," Elena announced, her voice steady but tinged with excitement. The communication system crackled to life. At first, the sounds were nothing more than a series of complex tones and rhythmic pulses. Slowly, the ship's advanced translation algorithms began to make sense of the alien language. Captain Park studied the initial message. It was not a greeting, but something more like a formal assessment. The aliens seemed to be scanning the human vessel, categorizing its capabilities, its potential threat level. There was an underlying tone of superiority, a sense that the alien civilization viewed humans as something primitive and barely worth acknowledging. Little did they know, humanity's strength had never been in raw technological power, but in adaptability, creativity, and an unbreakable spirit of survival. Hyun's instruments began picking up more details about the alien ship. Its technology was impressive, energy networks that seemed to flow like liquid, communication systems that operated on principles completely unknown to human science. But beneath the advanced exterior, the human crew sensed something else, a fundamental misunderstanding of what humans represented. Elena noticed slight inconsistencies in the alien ship's scanning patterns. They were thorough but predictable, following a methodical approach that suggested a rigid hierarchical way of thinking. Humans, by contrast, were masters of breaking patterns, of finding solutions where none seemed to exist. Captain Park remained calm. His hand rested lightly on the communication interface, waiting. Years of space exploration had taught him that patience was often the most powerful weapon. The alien vessel continued its approach, its crystal-like surface reflecting the distant starlight. The tension on the bridge was palpable. Each crew member understood that this moment could change everything: humanity's understanding of the universe, their place among the stars, their potential for survival in a cosmos that seemed increasingly complex and dangerous. As the two ships drew closer, something fundamental was about to be revealed. The humans were not just another species to be catalogued and dismissed. They were something else entirely, a civilization forged in the crucible of a brutal, unforgiving planet, with a resilience that would soon become legendary. The communication between the human vessel and the alien ship quickly became strained. Commander Rikus, the alien leader, transmitted a message that dripped with condescension. The translation algorithm on the celestial horizon picked up every nuanced word, revealing the depth of alien arrogance. "Your technological markers indicate a primitive developmental stage," the message read. "Recommend immediate non-interference protocol." Captain J. Park listened carefully. His crew watched him, knowing his next move would be crucial. The bridge was silent, filled with an electric tension that could be cut with a knife. Hyun Choi's monitoring systems began detecting subtle inconsistencies in the alien communication pattern. Something wasn't right. The aliens believed themselves superior, but their scanning techniques revealed significant gaps in their understanding of human capabilities. Elena Kim noticed how the alien vessel maintained a calculated distance. They were studying, observing, but maintaining a safe separation. It was a classic predatory approach: assess the potential threat before making any direct contact. The human crew understood something the aliens did not. Survival was humanity's greatest skill. They had evolved on Earth, a planet so brutal and unforgiving that most species would have perished within moments of arrival. Volcanic landscapes, extreme temperature variations, predatory environments, and constant evolutionary challenges had shaped human resilience. Commander Rikus continued transmitting assumptions about human technological limitations. Each message became more dismissive, more confident in their superiority. They viewed the human vessel as nothing more than a curiosity, a primitive exploration unit that posed no significant threat. But beneath the calm exterior of the celestial horizon, a different story was unfolding. Hyun's advanced computational systems were quietly analyzing every aspect of the alien communication. They were mapping communication frequencies, understanding communication protocols, and identifying potential vulnerabilities. "They believe we are weak," Elena whispered to Jay. "But they have no idea what humans are capable of." The alien ship began a more aggressive scanning procedure. Energy beams probed the human vessel, attempting to map its internal systems, its technological capabilities. What they didn't realize was that each scan was providing the humans with valuable information. J. Park remained calm. His hands moved slowly across the control panel, initiating subtle defensive protocols. Years of space exploration had taught him that first encounters were as much about psychology as technology. The tension continued to build. The alien vessel moved with calculated precision, its crystal-like surface reflecting starlight in mesmerizing patterns. But behind that beautiful exterior was a civilization that had never encountered a species like humans. Humans were different. They didn't just survive. They adapted. They transformed challenges into opportunities. Where other species might retreat, humans pushed forward. Where conventional solutions failed, human creativity found unexpected paths. Hyun's systems began correlating data. The alien scanning techniques, while advanced, followed a predictable pattern. They were looking for specific technological markers, specific energy signatures. But humans had always been masters of defying expectations. Commander Rikus sent another transmission, more direct this time. "Cease exploration, return to designated origin coordinates." The message was a command, not a request. It revealed the fundamental flaw in the alien approach. They believed their technological superiority guaranteed immediate compliance. Captain J. Park allowed himself a small smile. The real game was just beginning. Elena watched her captain, understanding the subtle strategy forming in his mind. Humans weren't just facing a technological challenge. They were confronting a fundamental misunderstanding of what human potential truly meant. The alien vessel continued its scans, confident in its superiority. They saw a human ship. What they didn't see was the result of millions of years of evolutionary adaptation, of survival against impossible odds, of a species that transformed every challenge into an opportunity for growth. The moment of technological surprise came without warning. While the alien vessel continued its confident scanning, the humans on the celestial horizon were preparing something unexpected. Hyun Choi had been quietly working on a sophisticated system. It wasn't about raw power or advanced weaponry, but something far more subtle. He was creating a communication disruption protocol that would exploit the tiniest weaknesses in the alien ship's technological framework. Captain J. Park watched as Hyun's fingers moved across the control panel. Complex algorithms began to take shape, designed to interact with the alien communication systems in ways the extraterrestrial civilization could never anticipate. The alien ship's scanning beams continued to probe the human vessel. Each pulse of energy was intended to gather information, to categorize and understand. But with each scan, they were unknowingly providing the humans with more data. Elena Kim monitored the systems, her eyes sharp and focused. She understood the delicate nature of what they were about to do. This wasn't about destruction, this was about demonstration. Suddenly, the alien ship's communication systems began to change. At first it was almost imperceptible, a slight flutter in their energy patterns, a momentary disruption that seemed insignificant. But it was anything but random. Yun had designed a system that could adapt in real time. It wasn't attacking the alien technology directly. Instead, it was learning, mimicking, and then subtly manipulating their communication protocols. Commander Rickus first noticed something was wrong when their standard communication channels began to behave strangely. Messages became garbled. Scanning frequencies started to shift unpredictably. The crystal-like surface of their ship seemed to lose its perfect synchronization. What the humans were doing was revolutionary. They weren't using brute force. They were using intelligence, creativity, and an understanding of technological systems that went beyond simple mechanics. The alien vessel's confidence began to crack. Their advanced technology, which had seemed so invincible moments ago, was now showing unexpected vulnerabilities. Each attempt to regain control only revealed more about their technological limitations. J. Park watched the developing scenario with calm precision. This was a demonstration, not an attack. It was a message about human potential, about the ability to understand and adapt to complex systems. Yun's system continued its subtle manipulation. It wasn't destroying the alien technology. It was showing how completely it could be understood and controlled. Every communication channel, every scanning frequency became a playground for human innovation. The alien crew began to panic. Their perfect hierarchical system of technological superiority was being dismantled not through force but through pure intellectual manipulation. They were facing something they had never encountered before, a species that could turn their own technology against them without firing a single weapon. Elena noticed the first signs of real concern from the alien vessel. Their communication patterns became more erratic, more desperate. They were trying to understand how this was happening, but their rigid technological framework couldn't comprehend the fluid, adaptive approach of human innovation. Commander Rickus sent increasingly frantic messages. Each transmission revealed more about their technological limitations, more about their fundamental misunderstanding of what humans represented. The celestial horizon remained calm. This wasn't about winning a conflict. This was about showing a fundamental truth about human potential. Where other species saw limitations, humans saw opportunities. Hyun's system reached its peak performance. The alien ship's technologies were now completely vulnerable. Not through destruction, but through complete understanding and manipulation. In those moments, the alien civilization learned a crucial lesson. Technological superiority wasn't about advanced systems. It was about the ability to adapt, to think creatively, to see beyond established patterns. The technological surprise was complete, and it was only the beginning of what humans could do. The psychological warfare began subtly, almost imperceptibly. Captain J. Park understood that true power wasn't about physical confrontation, but about understanding and manipulating the fundamental weaknesses of an opponent's thinking. Hyun, Choi had been analyzing the alien communication patterns for hours. Each transmission revealed more about their social structure, their decision-making processes, their deepest fears and motivations. The human team was building a psychological profile that would become their most powerful weapon. Elena Kim prepared. The communication systems, they weren't going to attack. They were going to understand. The alien vessel, still reeling from the previous technological disruption, continued its attempts to communicate. But now, something had changed. The humans were no longer just responding. They were anticipating. Commander. Riku sent a message demanding explanation. But each word, each communication pattern was a window into the alien mind. Humans had a unique ability to read between the lines, to understand the unspoken tensions and hierarchical pressures that drove the alien civilization. Jay noticed how the alien communications revealed deep internal conflicts. There were subtle power struggles, unspoken tensions between different levels of their command structure. Where other species might see only a unified front, humans saw the cracks, the potential points of psychological leverage. Hyun began constructing a communication strategy that was nothing short of brilliant. They would use the aliens' own communication systems to create doubt, to introduce subtle inconsistencies that would erode their confidence from within. The first psychological strike was subtle, a carefully crafted message that seemed innocent, but carried multiple layers of meaning. It questioned the decision-making processes of the alien leadership, introduced doubt about their technological superiority, and highlighted potential internal weaknesses. Elena watched as the alien ship's communication patterns changed. Their responses became more erratic, more defensive. They were reacting exactly as the humans had predicted. The human team wasn't just communicating. They were playing a complex psychological game. Each message was a carefully constructed piece of a larger puzzle, designed to undermine the aliens' sense of certainty and control. Commander Rickus began to make mistakes. The psychological pressure was working. Where once their communications were calm and calculated, now they were becoming emotional, reactive, predictable. J. Park understood the fundamental principle at work. Humans had evolved on a planet that demanded constant adaptation. Every challenge was an opportunity to learn, to grow, to find unexpected solutions. The alien civilization had never faced a species that could turn psychological pressure into a weapon. Yun's analysis revealed the deepest weakness in the alien social structure. They had a hierarchical system that valued conformity over individual thinking. Humans, by contrast, celebrated individual creativity, the ability to think outside established patterns. The psychological warfare continued. Each communication was a carefully placed piece of psychological pressure. The humans weren't destroying the alien civilization. They were revealing its fundamental weaknesses. Elena noticed how the alien ship's internal communications were becoming more chaotic. The humans were introducing doubt, creating internal conflicts that the aliens couldn't resolve using their traditional decision-making processes. Commander Rickus sent increasingly desperate messages. Each transmission revealed more about their psychological vulnerabilities. They were becoming predictable, their actions driven by fear rather than rational thinking. The human team remained calm. This wasn't about winning a conflict. This was about showing the power of psychological adaptability. Hyun's final psychological strategy was a masterpiece of communication manipulation. A series of messages that would completely destabilize the alien vessel's internal decision-making structure. In those moments, the alien civilization learned a crucial lesson. Psychological strength wasn't about maintaining a perfect exterior. It was about the ability to adapt, to think creatively, to understand the deeper motivations behind communication. The psychological warfare was complete, and the aliens had no idea what had truly happened. The final confrontation was unlike any space encounter in galactic history. The celestial horizon had transformed from a simple exploration vessel into something far more significant, a demonstration of human potential. Commander Rickus realized too late that they had severely underestimated humanity. The alien vessel, once pristine and confident, now drifted uncertainly in the vast darkness of space. Its communication systems were compromised, its internal structures destabilized by the subtle psychological warfare conducted by the human crew. Captain J. Park stood quietly on the bridge, watching the alien ship's increasingly desperate attempts to regain control. Hyun Choi continued monitoring their systems, each movement precise and calculated. Elena Kim prepared final communication protocols that would seal their absolute dominance. The humans hadn't fired a single weapon. They had defeated the alien civilization through pure intellectual superiority. Hyun's complex algorithms had completely dismantled the alien technological infrastructure. Their scanning systems were now nothing more than useless equipment. Their Communication networks reduced to fragmented signals that revealed their complete vulnerability. "They don't understand," Elena whispered to Jay. "They think technology is about hardware. We know it's about adaptability." The alien ship's crystal-like exterior now looked dull, almost defeated. Where once it had represented technological superiority, it now symbolized the limitations of a civilization that couldn't adapt. Commander Riku sent one final transmission. It was a mixture of confusion, anger, and a deep sense of defeat. The message revealed the fundamental flaw in their understanding of other species. They believed technological advancement guaranteed superiority. Humans knew better. Survival wasn't about having the best technology. It was about understanding how to use what you had, how to transform challenges into opportunities. J. Park's final communication was simple and direct. It wasn't a threat. It was a demonstration. Using the aliens' own communication systems, he showed how completely they had been understood, how thoroughly their technological and psychological frameworks had been dismantled. The alien vessels' systems began shutting down one by one, not through destruction, but through a complete understanding of their internal workings. Hyun had essentially rewritten their operational protocols, turning their most advanced technologies into nothing more than complex paperweights. Elena monitored the final stages of the encounter. The psychological impact was complete. The alien civilization would spread stories about this encounter, tales of a species that could defeat them without firing a single weapon. A civilization that understood adaptation was the true measure of intelligence. Hyun's final analysis showed something remarkable. They had not just defeated the alien vessel. They had provided a comprehensive lesson about the nature of true technological and psychological strength. The celestial horizon began to move away, leaving behind a testament to human potential. No destruction, no violent conflict, just a complete demonstration of intellectual superiority. Commander Rikus could only watch as the human vessel slowly disappeared into the starscape. Their civilization's assumptions about technological superiority had been completely destroyed. J. Park allowed himself a small smile. This wasn't about conquest. This was about showing what humanity could do when pushed, when challenged, when underestimated. The vast emptiness of space seemed to pause, bearing witness to a moment that would change galactic understanding forever. Humans were not just another species to be categorized or controlled. They were something else entirely. A civilization capable of turning any challenge into an opportunity for growth. As the celestial horizon continued its journey, the alien vessel remained behind. A silent monument to the day humanity showed why they were truly the most dangerous species in the galaxy, not through violence, not through brute force, but through the most powerful weapon of all, the ability to understand, adapt, and overcome.